Welcome students. Today, let's discuss about how India maintains its non-alignment policy with active neutrality in international relations. An important example that's in the current affair today is about how India is maintaining its relations with Russia. So, without any delay, let's discuss about how India-Russia relations are progressing with a current affair. India and Russia has continued their relationship post 1991, which means with dissolution of USSR, the Soviet Union though dissolved, Indian relation with Russia was more or less intact. It is with two kinds of continuity. One, it continued to be a strategic partner. Second thing is, it had a mutual cooperation. So as part of it, let's first understand what these terms actually mean in international relations. So when we call about strategic partnership, two different countries or two sovereign nations would arrange in a way to counter the third country. Let me again explain with an example. Suppose three countries A, B, C exist. If to counter B, A and C come to a partnership, this partnership is considered as a strategic partnership. That means they are partnering to have some benefits or some gains, and that gain can be to counter the third nation, or that can be to exploit some kind of commercial treaty. So this partnership is considered strategic. That means they are involving in a strategy to gain rather than just being natural allies. So this strategic partnership continued post 1991 as well. And when we say about mutual cooperation, it's slightly different. So when it comes to mutual cooperation, there is no zero-sum game. That means they are not benefiting at cost of each other. At the same time, they are not with any intention to counter the third nation. They are mutually benefiting each other. So, hope you understood historically as well. Before 1991, India and USSR was in good terms despite the non-alignment movement. And after 1991, these two entities, which means the larger entity in USSR, Russia, along with India, moved on with a strategic partnership. If it's clear, then let's get to the today's event. So today's event was a logistic agreement, which is in wording, it's reciprocal exchange of logistics agreement. What actually this agreement mean, and how is it a continuation of non-alignment policy of India? So to understand how India is maintaining its non-alignment policy, we need to understand how India is maintaining equal relations with both the polarities in the world. When I say both the polarities, to counter Russia and China, India was in a bloc, and India is still in bloc of Quad, which is an informal agreement, right? So, other side, the same kind of military arrangements are with Russia as well. So, to understand that, let's first see what kind of military agreements India has with USA. Similar things are part of the logistical agreement which we are speaking today. So with USA, we have to exchange the communication system, which is Comcasa or Sismoa, whichever you call. And along with this, we have an agreement by name BECA. This is exchange of communication systems. This is allowing each other's military equipment or each other's naval bases or any other defense equipment to refill or have any kind of repairs at each other's port. So these two things, of course, India also has the third kind of arrangement with USA, but as we are, so to compare with what today's agreement is with Russia. As part of today's reciprocal agreement, reciprocal logistic agreement, we have two components of it. First is allowing each other's naval ships in Arctic region and Indian coasts. Mind it again, it's Indian coast rather than Indian Ocean region. In this space, both the countries, India and Russia, can refill and repair their defense equipment. That means if there's a military ship that's traveling from Russia to some other part of the world, it can stay there in India and refill the fuel or have any repairs if needed or maintenance in Indian coasts. Same is the case if Indian ship is traveling in the Arctic region. So this is one part of it. The second part is similar to what COMCASA is. Russia also helps with its own version of GPS, its own version of another communication systems which are militarily equipped. When I say militarily equipped, it's not normal navigation system that a common civilian would use. It's a specialized encoded system. So this communication exchange, makes it similar to what these two agreements are. Hope India's benefiting from both the polarities with the similar arrangement is beneficial to India. But if there's a worry or to convince each polarity, what can be the potential threat or potential objection they would say about each other? So the first one is about the kind of worry USA. So the first one is the kind of worry USA has expressed is about the CAATSA, which it usually puts on American adversaries. So the CAATSA Act was actually exempted when India was buying S-400. So as still the agreement is in draft form, USA would adopt a wait and watch approach to make sure whether it's really affecting their sovereignty or integrity of their own military. Because exchange from both the countries may involve some secrets or some kind of patents that gets exposed. So USA so far has not taken any action. Hopeful that India would continue to benefit with such agreements both the sides. So before we end, I would just pose a question. Russia being home to largest water body, you can comment on what the name of the first two large water bodies are. That means what two large freshwater lakes are in Russia. Hopeful that you gained something out of this video. Another day with a better video, I'll be back before you. Till then, thank you.